दर्शक बंधु नमस्कार। नमस्कार दर्शक बंधु। आज आम गहन अच्छा भारत वर्ष जन विशिष्ट वैज्ञानिक लब्ध प्रतिष्ठ गवेषक यशस्वी एडमिनिस्ट्रेटर प्रोफेसर डॉक्टर मनोज कुमार चक्रवर्ती। प्रोफेसर मनोज कुमार चक्रवर्ती इंडियन साइंस कांग्रेस एसोसिएशन जी कि भारत वर्षर सर्वपुरातन और सर्वश्रेष्ठ वैज्ञानिक अनुष्ठान तार बर्तमान अध्यक्ष अच्छा 2018 और 2019 मसीहा। प्रोफेसर चक्रवर्ती आसी भुवनेश्वर को इंडियन साइंस कांग्रेस एसोसिएशन भुवनेश्वर चैप्टर आनुआल कॉन्फ्रेंस को जहाँकि फेब्रुआरी 1 तारिख और 2 तारिख 2019 मसीह अनुष्ठित होती किट कैंपस रे। से अवसर में आमको सुजोग मिलता प्रोफेसर चक्रवर्ती सह वार्तालाप करने। आम प्रोफेसर चक्रवर्ती और मिसेस चक्रवर्ती के अवसर में अभिनंदन करुचु, प्रणाम करुचु, स्वागत करुचु। सर नमस्कार। सर आपण बहु गुण बहु विद्या विद्यार बारिधि आपण एमएससी करछंती, पीएचडी करछंती, फेलो अछंती एकेडमी ऑफ साइंस रो, फेलो ऑफ नेशनल एकेडमी ऑफ साइंस इलाहाबाद रो मध्ये अछंती, आईसीआर एमिनेंट मेडिकल साइंटिस्ट अछंती, नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ कॉलेरा एंड एंटेरिक डिजीज रे आपण फॉर्मर साइंटिस्ट एंड जी थिले डायरेक्टर इंचार्ज थिले नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ कॉलेरा एंड एंटेरिक डिजीज रो। आपण जनरल सेक्रेटरी थिले इंडियन साइंस कांग्रेस एसोसिएशन रो 2010 रु 2013 रो। आज आमे आपण को पाइछु इंडियन साइंस कांग्रेस एसोसिएशन रो सभापति हिसाब रे। आज आपण प्रथम थर ओडिशा के आछथि सभापति हिसाब रे इसका रो जो कॉन्फ्रेंस ला किट यूनिवर्सिटी रे आमे सर आपण को स्वागत करूछु, अभिनंदन करूछु, प्रणाम करूछु। 2018 मसीहा 2019 मसीहा पे आपण सभापति आसन अलंकृत करछंती। इसका हूँ भारत वर्षर सर्वश्रेष्ठ सर्वबृहत्तम और सर्वपुरातन वैज्ञानिक अनुष्ठान जार शुभारंभ होता कलिकता सहर में, जो सहर में आपण अच्छा बर्तमान। कलिकता सहर में 1914 मसीह इंडियन साइंस कांग्रेस एसोसिएशन प्रथम अधिवेशन होता और अधिवेशन होता नंबर 1 पार्क स्ट्रीट एशियाटिक सोसाइटी बिल्डिंग रे, जार सभापति आसन अलंकृत करते सर आशुतोष मुखर्जी। सर आशुतोष मुखर्जी खाली इसकार प्रथम सभापति नथिले, से थिले भारत वर्षर जन वैज्ञानिक सूर्य एवं सार सीवी रमण को गढ़िबारे ताको महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका थिला। आज जदि भारत वर्ष प्रथम नोबेल प्राइज पाइछि, एकमात्र नोबेल प्राइज पाइछि फिजिक्स रे, से कलिकता शहर देछि एवं इंडियन एसोसिएशन फॉर द कल्टिवेशन ऑफ साइंस देछि। और सार सीवी रमण को निर्माण रे, सार सीवी रमण को सर्जन रे सार आशुतोष मुखर्जी तांकर महत्व अवदान रही। सार सीवी रमण जिते एमएससी रे टॉपर है कि मद्रास रू कलिकता शहर को गले, अकाउंटेंट जनरल बेंगल हेले, एजी ऑफिस पार्क स्ट्रीट रे था, से बासा हे गले, से गले कलिकता रे चाकरी करिया को अकाउंटेंट जनरल बेंगल हे कि से घर भड़ा नहीं रहउथिले सामबोजार रे नॉर्थ कलकत्ता एवं ट्राम रे जीवासा करते पार्क स्ट्रीट की एजी बेंगल ऑफिस की धर संध्या बेले से 5टा बेले फेरुथिले तांको घर को ट्राम रो साइड सीट रे से बसिथिले, देखले गोटे बोर्ड लिखा हिची इंडियन एसोसिएशन फॉर द कल्टिवेशन ऑफ साइंस। मन रे उत्कंठा आसिला, ओधे पड़िले ट्राम रो पचारले जाय कि से अनुष्ठान होची भारत वर्ष प्रथम गवेषणा अनुष्ठान एवं ताको गढ़ी थिले डॉक्टर महेंद्र लाल सरकार। मोर सौभाग्य होता से अनुष्ठान में पीएचडी करती 1977 मसीह। महेंद्र सरकार पुओ थे से सेक्रेटरी। मुझे कहूँ 19th सेंचुरी प्रथम घटना, प्रथम दशक घटना, द्वितीय दशक प्रथम दशक घटना। सार आशुतोष मुखर्जी खबर पाइले जमी जड़े भल व्यक्तित्व, जो भल फिजिक्स जो टॉपर छात्र आसिक से चाकरी करुच्ची से रिसर्च कर सका रिसर्च करते, संध्या रिसर्च करते, दिन बेला अकाउंटेंट जनरल चाकरी करते। सार आशुतोष मुखर्जी मोटिवेट करते तुम्हें रिसर्च कर 24 आवर चाकरी छाड़ी दियो। ताको कथा मानिकी से चाकरी करथिले, चाकरी छाड़ी देथिले, रिसर्च करथिले। एटी गोटे कथा मो दर्शक मान को कहब चाहूची, सर आपण जानिथिबे कि न जानिथिबे मो जानिनी, मैडम भी कहि दोची खबर। सार आशुतोष मुखर्जी को पाठ पढ़ैथिले तेन ओडिसा लोक कुलवृद्ध मधुसूदन दास, जहाँ आम उत्कल गौरव मधुसूदन दास बोली कहू, जहाँ घर कटक जिले में, सी घरे टीचर थे, होम ट्यूटर कहला होम ट्यूटर कुलवृद्ध मधुसूदन दास। मधु बारिस्टर बोली से ओडिशा रे परिचित मधुसूदन दास जहाँकर पुतुरा जहाँकर झियारी भाईकर झी होती रमा देवी जहाँ यूनिवर्सिटी रमा देवी यूनिवर्सिटी भाई झील से रमा देवी तो सार आशुतोष मुखर्जी आक्नोलेज कर बायोग्राफी आप देखिए मधुसूदन दास का नाम अच्छे क्लास टीचर होम ट्यूटर पाठ पढ़ी तो जहाँ हो भारत वर्ष विज्ञान जन्म नेला कलिकता सहर में नोबेल प्राइज प्रथम नोबेल प्राइज फिजिक्स रे कहीं फिजिक्स कहीं एनी साइंस 1930 मसीह सार सी नोबेल प्राइज पाइले आज पर्यंत 2019 पर्यंत कौन जन है वैज्ञानिक भारत माटी काम करके भारत को नोबेल प्राइज रे गौरवान्वित करना 30 मसीह 2019 90 वर्ष हो गला 90 वर्ष भितर बहु विकास घटी भारत वर्ष में बहु अनुष्ठान आसी देश स्वाधीनता हो जाए इंडियन एसोसिएशन फॉर द कल्टिवेशन साइंस गढ़ा होता है देश स्वाधीनता हो ना भारत वर्षर प्रथम सर्वश्रेष्ठ सर्वपुरातन सर्वबृहत अनुष्ठान जन प्राइवेट अनुष्ठान से इंडियन एसोसिएशन फॉर द कल्टिवेशन साइंस जन डाक्तर महेंद्र सरकार गढ़ी एवं सार सीवी रमन 1928 मसीहा फेब्रुआरी मास 28 तारीख दिन बेंगलोर इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ साइंस ऑडिटोरियम रे घोषणा करथिले जो रमण प्रभाव जो गवेषणा से करथिले से जंत्रटा एबे भी यादवपुर से इंस्टीट्यूट रखा जाई शोकेस रे रमण इफेक्ट जो प्रभावटा से रमण जंत्रटा थुआ है कल्टिवेशन साइंस रो शोकेस रे तो फेब्रुआरी 28 1928 गोटे रेड लेटर डे भारत वर्ष विज्ञान इतिहास रे 30 मसीह सार नोबेल प्राइज पाइले सार से नोबेल प्राइज 30 मसीह लंबा यात्रा पथ भारत सरकार आसी बहु गवर्नमेंट आसी इन्वेस्टमेंट इन R&D बढ़ी एजुकेशन बढ़ी यूनिवर्सिटी बढ़ी इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बढ़ी ICMR ICAR CSR आसी बहुत एग्रीकल्चरल यूनिवर्सिटी नेशनल यूनिवर्सिटी स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटी बहुत जगह आसी इन्वेस्टमेंट किंतु बढ़ी ना इन्वेस्टमेंट GDP 1% रही इन्वेस्टमेंट इन R&D 1% रही तो यही जो पृष्ठभूमि में आम आज दंडायमान होती विज्ञान भारतीय विज्ञान जो पृष्ठभूमि जो संक्षेप आलोचना आम कले ये पृष्ठभूमि रे विज्ञान यात्रापथ ताकि जब अवलोकन करवा विज्ञान यात्रापथ में बहु उत्थान पतन आसी बहु भारतीय भारत बाहर काम कर नोबेल प्राइज भारत को देते किंतु कौन से भारतीय 30 मसीहा पर 2019 90 वर्ष भितर कौन से लैबोरेटरी कौन से यूनिवर्सिटी कौन से वैज्ञानिक भारत वर्ष नोबेल प्राइज देना भारत में काम कर जदिव नोबेल प्राइज सफलतार सर्वश्रेष्ठ एकमात्र मापकाठी नुहे मु किछि दिन तले प्रोफेसर गोवर्धन भट्टांग इंटरव्यू नौली से कथाटी कही नोबेल प्राइज सफलता को मापिबार एकमात्र मापकाठी नुहे जो मैंने नोबेल प्राइज पाऊना माने से गवेषणा करूना किसी कथा नुहे बहुत लोग अच्छा गवेषणा कर प्रोफेसर सी एन राव अच्छा मुझे स्टूडेंट प्रोफेसर सी एन राव स्टूडेंट बेंगलोर इट इज वन ऑफ द इंडिकेटर्स बट नॉट द ओनली इंडिकेटर नोबेल प्राइज गोटे देशर गारिमा को समग्र विश्व में उपस्थापन करने वन ऑफ द मेजर इंडिकेटर बट नॉट द ओनली इंडिकेटर तार अदर इंडिकेटर्स ऑल्सो तो यही हूँ विज्ञान पृष्ठभूमि यही हूँ देशमातृकार विज्ञान अवदान यही पृष्ठभूमि सार आप आज ठिया होती सभापति साहब ये जो मोर अग्रगामी अनुष्ठान सर्वश्रेष्ठ अनुष्ठान सर्वबृहत अनुष्ठान सर्वपुरातन अनुष्ठान आपण आज सभापति बहुत बड़ पदवी सर बहुत बड़ पदवी क्या आम आज पर्यटन 2 जन ओडिया लोक ये पदवी में बस गत काली आम जो 1 तारीख दिन आम जो कॉन्फ्रेंस कलु देखिए मंच में 3 जन सभापति आज सभापति पूर्वतन सभापति भविष्य सभापति 3 जन सभापति बस ये गोटे मन भर शेरण सृष्टि है आपण प्रेजेंट सभापति मैडम बसी थे 21 मसीहार सभापति पूर्वतन सभापति थे प्रोफेसर सक्सेना ये बहुत बड़ कथा वी रेट यू एज वन ऑफ द ग्रेटेस्ट साइंटिस्ट ऑफ द कंट्री क्या ISCA हूँ बहुत बड़ फोरम विज्ञान एंटायर भारतवर्ष विज्ञान को ISCA ही रिप्रेजेंट करे ग्लोबाली नेशनली और सर बहुत बड़ पदवी सर आप आसी से सर आम ओडार वैज्ञानिक कम्युनिटी तरफ आम सर आपको हार्दिक अभिनंदन जनाऊँ स्वागत करुँ यही पृष्ठभूमि से कतोटी कथा सर आलोचना आसूँ मन को आसूँ पचार आई टू सम क्वेश्चंस टू यू ISCA जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन 1914 मसीह सार आशुतोष मुखर्जी गढ़ी प्रथम सभापति तार एम्स ऑब्जेक्टिव्स and activity ଉପରେ ଆମ ଦର୍ଶକ ବନ୍ଧୁ ଟିକେ ଆଲୋକପାତ କରିବେ କି?
So before going into that,
Sir.
you have raised a very important question, one issue, that why we did not, why our scientists did not get Nobel Prize during these years. For
Sir.
the last 90 years, we
Sir.
did not get Nobel Prize. But I should mention here that we should appreciate the scientists of our before our independence. We should appreciate them, because at that time they had no support from the government. Everything they had to make their equipment on their own. I know that for his studies,
Sir.
Sir C.V. Raman
Sir.
he needed one equipment, but it was not available in India, and he could not make that equipment. So he had to, and the equipment cost was 28,000.
Sir.
He did not get any support from the government. He went and talked to Birla and requested him, and he said that if you give me 28,000 to procure this equipment, then the Asia will get one Nobel Prize. So confident he was.
Sir.
And that is a history. After that he received that equipment, and he made that observation Raman effect, and he got Nobel Prize. But the my thing is already,
Sir.
you have mentioned,
Sir.
that during this period our country has achieved a lot. We have made progress in several fields,
Sir.
in several areas of our research. I can mention, but in spite of that, we did not get Nobel Prize.
Sir.
As I am from National Institute of Cholera and Enteric Disease,
Sir.
I will just mention one example.
Sir.
When in Robert Koch in 1884, he first identified and discovered the Vibrio cholerae, which is the causative organism of cholera.
Sir.
And as all of us know, that when this type of pathogenic organisms are identified, immediately the scientists throughout the world, they started working on how this organism causes cholera, so that some drugs may be developed, some vaccine may be developed.
Sir.
I repeat it, throughout the world, scientists started working to know the exact mechanism of action of this cholera toxin. But in spite of involvement of so many very good scientists in those days throughout the world, could not find that how cholera toxin or not cholera toxin, how this organism produces diarrhea, cholera. One scientist, we are proud to say,
Sir.
that one scientist, Dr. Somunath Dey,
Sir.
he was the head of pathology division of Calcutta Medical College.
Sir.
He was working on cholera. He first developed one model, and by using that animal model, he showed that Vibrio cholerae secretes a toxin which was producing the disease. Why I am telling this thing? This was a great discovery, not only for microbiology, but for cholera itself, because nobody could find out this thing. And his name was nominated several times for Nobel Prize,
Sir.
but he could not get Nobel Prize because he could not purify the cholera toxin.
That's it. Sir.
He could not purify cholera toxin because you know, the purification of an unknown protein during 50s, because it was he discovered in 1956.
Sir.
So in those days, protein purification was not that easy, because you are also
Sir, sir.
you are organic
Sir,
chemist,
sir.
so you definitely use.
Sir.
So okay, he could not purify, and that's why he. This is not I am telling. This was told by an American journal editor.
Sir.
Current contents were the journal is there. Its editor Garfield, Professor Garfield, he wrote when
Sir.
Dr. Dey died. he wrote the importance of that study, and he wrote about the that if Dr. Somunathe could purify cholera toxin, he would definitely get Nobel Prize. So this is another issue.
Sir.
And Nobel Prize, what you are telling, it's right, because Nobel Prize winning discovery, most of the Nobel Prize winning discovery, the scientists did not start that work to get the Nobel Prize. On the way he was during his research, he got an interesting finding that could fetch the Nobel Prize.
Sure.
Most of the Nobel Prize winning discoveries are chance discoveries. I am not telling all, chance discovery. So we can give lot of examples, but this is not the platform to tell about those things.
Okay, sir.
So as you asked me that what is the
aims
and
objectives,
objectives, aims, already you have told that Sir Ashutosh Mukherjee, he along with others, two British chemists were there. They established this Science Congress, Indian Science Congress Association, and their motto was to aware the people of India to know about the achievements in science, to aware them about the scientific development throughout the world, and to increase the scientific temperament of our population. Scientific temperament of our population. That way they started. Another thing they started, what I feel, this is my feeling. Now we are talking about collaborative research. Without collaboration, it's very difficult to get something new or something very novel, novel type of thing. Here, they started with 14 different subjects. No, starting from medical science, including physiology, then chemistry, physics, computer science, and others. They started mathematics. They started this thing. I think their idea was to get all the scientists under one umbrella, so that they can collaborate. If a biologist can collaborate with a chemist can collaborate with a physicist, that was also an idea at that time.
Then a synthesis of minds, synthesis of various minds, unison of various minds through collaboration can give wonders, can create wonders.
And this year, we organized Science Congress from 3 to 7 January at lovely Professional University. And our focal theme was Future India, Science and Technology. So actually, I took this focal theme because realization of future India through science and technology. Because we are going to get several problems here, I will tell you later on. But what we did there, already I have mentioned that there are several subjects. Specifically, there are 14 different subjects. And we organize 14 different international conferences under one roof. Why I am telling international conferences? We never tell the Science Congress is an international conference. But these 14 subjects, in each subject, sections are there, and in those sections, sectional presidents are there. They organize. And in all the sections, a large number of foreign scientists participate every year. So that's why I am telling, although we are not officially telling that Indian Science Congress is
it has an international flavor.
It has an international flavor, one thing. So a lot of scientists came from India and abroad. And another thing we always do plenary sessions on different subjects. Suppose I can tell you in the first day, DRDO made one presentation, and DRDO chairman was there, and along with 3 other Director Generals,
Sir.
they told us about the achievement of DRDO in different fields.
Sir.
So this way on diabetes also we were lucky to have 3 very good diabetes experts from Britain. One of them is the president of International Diabetes Federation.
Sir.
On cancer also we got a very good scientist. He is the president of Society of American Cancer Institute.
Sir.
There are several cancer institutes, more than 70, and they have a society and their president. He is a very good. He was related to that the discovery of BRCA2
Sir.
gene.
Sir.
So he was there, and all this way on different subjects in chemistry, in physics, different plenaries were there.
Sir.
So we had a lot of scientists in the plenaries, and besides this, we had Children's Science Congress, Women's Science Congress, then Science Communicators Week. We organized a thing, and more than 15,000 delegates participated in the Science Congress. And third, we made one calculation. The LPO made one that 30,000 attendees were there out of 15,000 were, and 3 Nobel laureates.
Sir.
Initially, we thought that 5 Nobel laureates would come, but one of them he was sick. That's why he could not come.
Sir.
German Nobel laureate.
Sir.
But 3 Nobel laureates come. One came. One is Thomas Sudab. Professor Thomas Sudab is a professor of Stanford University, and he received Nobel Prize in 1930 in physiology or medicine.
Sir.
And he worked on synaptic transmission mechanism. And another one, he is from physics, Michael Haldane. He is a professor of Princeton University.
Sir.
He came here, he delivered a very beautiful lecture.
Sir.
Everybody liked that. And he received Nobel Prize in physics in 2016.
Sir.
And another scientist came from Israel, Professor Abraham Harshko. He is from an Israeli institute, research institute. And he received Nobel Prize in chemistry in 2006. So 3 Nobel laureates were there, and so many scientists were there, more than several scientists from India and abroad participated.
Sir.
And
Sir, here I want to ask another question to you. I find 2 India. One is India before 1947, another India after 47. We had people like Sir C.V. Raman, Sir Jagdish Chandra Bose, Acharya Praful Chandra Rai, Satyan Bose, Meghnad Saha, P.C. Maharanovis, all great, Baba, Homi Jahangir Baba, all great personalities before 47, pre-independence India. So pre-independence India produced these giants who are not only known in India, they are internationally highly known. But after independence, we opened up so many universities, so many institutes, so many funding systems. So many scientists are working all over the country in various universities and research institutes. CSR is considered as the largest scientific chain of the world. But we have not made up to the mark which was expected. Sir, I will take you to the time pre-independence India. Pandit Nehru and Bhatnagar, Santiswarup Bhatnagar, Sir Santiswarup Bhatnagar. Actually, these 2 gentlemen, Sir Santiswarup Bhatnagar and Pandit Nehru, their relationship was so strong, scientific relationship. We call them Nehru-Bhatnagar effect. Like Raman effect, we call Nehru-Bhatnagar effect. And that Nehru-Bhatnagar effect created a new India. What new India find today in the scientific arena, Bhatnagar-Nehru effect. It is the result of Bhatnagar. So many people objected to Nehru. We don't have roti, kapda or makan. First, our people should be provided with roti, kapda or makan, then science and technology. But Nehru and Bhatnagar, they objected to it. No. We will provide roti, kapda and makan. Simultaneously, parallelly, we should also do science and technology. That is how BRC came, TIFR came, ISC came, so many institutes, research institutes came. And CSR chain was created. You are the first DG of CSR.
ICMR is there.
ICMR is there, ICR is there.
ICR is
So many institutes are created, but we have not created people like Jagdish Chandra Bose, Acharya Papru Chandra Rai, Meghnad Shah, Satyana Bose. These people are unparalleled people in the history of Indian science. We have not created people of those caliber. We have people like Dr. Dey, you told. So many people are there. Professor Rao is there. Other scientists are there working outside India also. Indian scientists working outside make very good names. Ashok Sen is there in Allahabad. So many people are doing very good work. But we have not created Jagdish Chandra Bose. We have not created Satyana Bose, Meghnad Shah. People of those caliber. And when they worked, they had no funding. You told there is no money for purchasing experiment for RCB Raman. I find it too separate India. India before 50, before
Yes.
independence,
Yes.
and India after 50, after independence. How do you judge it?
Yes, my feelings is
Sir.
that you are right. This is to India.
Sir.
But you have to think that how world is
Moving ahead.
so fast in science and technology.
Sir.
Every day new things are coming up. So, and to compete
Sir.
with the advancement of world science, we have to be we have to do work
Sir.
very fast. Now the problem is, if I talk about biological science,
Sir.
you are both of us are of almost same age. You will be remembering that our Department of Biotechnology is
Sir.
started in 1986.
Sir.
Before that, what we had, you were talking about that we had lot of institutes, lot of other things. But I can give you one example. In CSIR, one laboratory, you must be remembering as
Sir.
an organic chemist.
Sir.
CSIR had one laboratory in Delhi,
Sir.
which has
National
become,
Physical Laboratory.
no, which has become now a national institute, national laboratory.
They know.
They used to procure foreign chemicals in their in Patel Chest Institute. They have one center for biologicals
Sir.
maybe, and there they used to procure chemicals and reagents, and from there they used to supply to the laboratories. Even today, if one Indian scientist, if he thinks that I have to do this work, then if you compare with the advanced countries, that suppose in United States, from the next day he can, at the night itself, he will order for the chemicals, reagents, and next day he can start doing work, that thing. But in our case, at least you have to wait for
Months together.
Months together. By that time, they are progressing. Another thing, it's very good. Another thing, you just think about, we had lot of controversies were there when when government of India started funding a lot to ISRO. Think about the initial period. That why it is required. Ours is a poor country. Why so many crores of rupees are going in the drain? But see what happened now. Now we are
One among six in the world.
One among six in the world.
Sir.
What we are.
And that was the cheapest. Mangalajan was the cheapest. And that was the success in first attempt.
And in the case of Nobel laureates also, I can think, Government of India has made all the institutes, they are funding in all research institutes. Our definitely our scientists are working
very hard.
very hard.
Yes, sir.
So you don't know at this moment whether some scientist has got a very interesting or very important findings which may fetch Nobel laureate.
Sir.
So that way you cannot calculate that we have lost already, we have gone through 90 years, we did not get Nobel Prize. That way you cannot compare. And you have
And
to
moreover,
think
Nobel
otherwise.
Prize. Yes, moreover, Nobel Prize is not the only criteria.
Only criteria.
Sir.
There are we talk about this thing that our country, we so many research institutes, so many universities are there, but now within 100, no university.
No,
but
it
there are
is only
several
below 100.
criteria. There are several criteria, and in those criteria, maybe one of them is that how many Nobel laureates are working. That is one of the criteria.
Sir,
And several other-
sir, प्रश्न उठुची how to judge a country, how to judge the success of a country, how many PhDs are produced, how many patents are produced, how to rate a country globally. How to rate a country globally, whether by the number of PhDs, number of DSCs, number of patents, on patents commercialization. How to judge a country's success internationally. Now where we stand
See,
today?
Our initially,
Sir.
that also I think you will agree with me.
Sir.
When we started doing research, at that time our main motto was to publish. Either publish or perish. At one time.
Sir.
We did not, government of India or in research institutes, if you had no publication, then you would not get the Nobel, the
Promotion.
assessment,
No,
sorry,
no
assessment,
promotion.
and no promotion. So scientists started publishing their thing, and if you publish, you cannot go for patents. And one country, I understand that 2%, even in USA, 2% of the patents,
Are
they are
only
commercialized.
commercialized.
And that is
That means industries are not coming forward to join hands with academia or research institutes. Otherwise it could have been
No, but now things are changed. Now things are changed. Even Government of India now through Inspire Fellowship, they are targeting the school children. They are trying to create a bank type of thing where innovative minds will be there. How they will judge that this person is innovative, this child is innovative or not. If he is innovative and if he gets fellowship for his studies, maybe he is from a very poor background, maybe he is from a rural background, but he will come to the limelight with the help of the government to these fellowships. So another thing is government is giving much importance to the patents now.
Sir.
And translational studies should be there, although there is a controversy between the translational studies
Sir.
and basic studies. It will continue. But in our country, translation studies are there. Even in some CSIR laboratories are collaborating with some other rural establishment and other things
Sir.
to make something which will be useful for the local problems.
Sir, even beyond independence also, if you can analyze the success story of India, we are great. We are till today, we are number one in egg production. We are number one in milk production. Yesterday you told regarding Swaminathan and other age group and Varghese Kurian. Amul is a success story not in India, in the world.
Yes.
Amul is a success story in the world.
Yes.
So from basket case to a global force, India has emerged in the meantime.
Yes.
Pre-independence India, if you judge the success story
Yes.
of pre-independence India, from a basket case on our head, now we have emerged as a global force in the world. We are the only country in the entire world who has sent Mars Orbiter mission, lowest cost, indigenous technology, and fast attempt.
Yes.
Fast attempt, lowest cost, indigenous technology. Only one in the world. That is Mangaljan. The vaccine that we are, very much, vaccine that we are giving throughout the world, Tika, Basanta Tika, it is the only vaccine which is provided by India throughout the world. So we have many success stories, many milestones we have crossed, but miles to go before we sleep. Still we have miles to go. So in this light, what is your national agenda and chapter agenda? Can you please highlight?
Yes.
Sir.
We have 28 chapters throughout India.
Sir.
So our aim is to target the children. Because another thing I should mention here,
Sir.
now it has become a knowledge-based society.
Sir.
After the development of these IT industries and biotechnology, knowledge has become a big indicator for creation of wealth.
Sir.
And for we know that we need a large number of human resources
Sir.
who will be working for in the field of science and technology. So how can we achieve that? Government of India has several schemes to bring more and more children. As I mentioned, that inspire fellowship
Sir,
for
to the school children.
so for school children.
children.
Here also, all the chapters are targeting the schools. We are going to the schools. We are targeting the students of class 7, 8. And they are being told the achievement of science in India, global achievement of science, the importance of science.
Sir.
And science you can use, they are listening to these stories, success stories of Indian science and Indian scientists and global scientists also, so that they can be attracted to take science as their career.
Sir.
So that way a large number of human resource will be developed.
Sir.
That way Science Congress is playing a great role.
Sir, like national chapter, you organize Women Science Congress, Teacher Science Congress, Student Science Congress. State chapters, regional chapters, they should also similarly do, but they are not doing.
They are doing.
We had 2 days conference. It was all people assembled. But similarly, we should have at least 1 day dedicated for the
Yes, we should go ahead.
Women scientists and for teachers also, and another day general. So like the national agenda, you can have the state agenda like
Only
regional chapters.
Yes.
Should also have Women Children Science Congress, Student Science Congress, Teacher Science Congress, and in general. They should have at least half a session.
Actually, one organization
Sir.
which is 106-year-old
Sir.
and it is young, I should tell,
Sir.
because always this as you are telling that all the chapters should have Children's Science Congress,
Sir.
Women's Science Congress, and
Sir.
others, and these should be imbibed by us.
Sir.
ये आना चाहिए.
So that
ये आना
guidelines,
चाहिए.
guidelines has to come from the central office to regional center.
And ये चेंज हमारा ये चेंज जरूरी है. हम लोग contemporary, suppose now there are several things, India needs several things. We have already started on working on that field, so we have changed.
In this
So
book,
this way the chapters will also be doing something.
Sir, in this
for the
respect,
requirement of-
I request you to kindly have suitable guidelines issued to all chapters. So they should do at least for 3 days. Maybe half day session for girls. We issue the Bhubaneswar session, there are no girls, no school students are there. Only college students, university students, research paper they presented, etc. So students from schools should also come. Teachers should also come. Teacher Science Congress.
Yes.
In similar pattern.
Yes.
You are doing for 7 days.
Very good, sir.
Sir, in the national level, you are doing for 7 days. Let them down 3 days. 3 days for the school children, for the teachers, and another thing is missing for the parents, guardians. Science and guardians, because who encourages us in the home, with the family, my father and my mother. So government must think for the parents, not teachers, students, teachers, guardians. The women scientists. So this is how you can frame guidelines.
No.
Center.
This
So
suggestion is
chapter
good.
Science Congress should be done in this light, and almost at a par with the national levels. They can do for 3 days, dedicated for the schools, school children, Children's Science Congress, Teacher Science Congress, guardians participation. So that part is, madam, missing that part. That is required. Guardians Science Congress. Because they are required to be educated. Because, sir, this year's theme is, for the 20th February 2019, theme is Science for People, People for Science. Beautiful theme. This are DST has given. Science for the people, people for science. विज्ञान होची सर्वसाधारण जनतांकर सर्वसाधारण जनता होची विज्ञान the vice versa. So science and people, these are 2 key words. Science for people, people for science. This is also theme. Number 1. Number 2, 10th November 2018, World Science Day. The theme was Science, a Human Right. In the history of the world science, such a theme was never there. For the first time in the world platform, science was given as a human right. Like you have right to information, right to knowledge. Similarly, you have right to science. For the first time in the history of the world, UNESCO decided on 10th November 2018, that conference which was held, it was science a human right. विज्ञान एक मानविक अधिकार. Beautiful thing.
This-
And this year's DST theme is very good. So similarly, sir, my suggestion, my submission to you, that local chapters, you have 28 local chapters, so they should also extend the 2 days to maybe relatively 3 days, and they can check out the program. School students are missing in Bhubaneswar. This is okay. There no school students are there. No teachers are there.
But last time I
Teachers
remember-
matlab school level teacher. I'm teacher matlab not college level. I'm talking school level.
No, I
And
remember.
guardians. Some parents
No,
should be present.
your suggestion is good. But I remember,
Sir.
last time, maybe three months back we
Sir,
came here.
sir.
We had a program with the KISS children.
Sir.
Children in the KISS.
Kids, sir.
So this Bhubaneswar chapter they organized.
Chapter organized. That's okay.
But you are right. You
From all over the state,
said
some representative school student can come. So that it may be 200, 300 students. Student chapter. That is student science congress. You will feel that it is student science congress. Like teacher science congress, school, from the school level. And that we are doing research scholars presenting papers. That is what.
no, it's a very good idea.
Sir.
So
So another thing I will ask you, ISCA in the global platform, what are your plans and provisions for the future? ISCA is the global platform.
actually ISCA is having collaboration.
Sir.
We are having sister concern throughout the world,
Sir.
just like Indian Science Congress Association.
Sir.
It was started on the line of British Association for the Advancement of Science.
Sir.
So we are collaborating with British Association for Advancement of Science, American Association for Advancement of Science, Russian Academy of Sciences,
Sir.
Bulgarian Academy, and
Sir.
several academies are associated with Indian Science
Sir,
Congress
sir.
Association. We are representing in their conference.
Sir.
They are also representing. What you are telling, it may be
Sir.
the time will come when, because science has no boundary,
Sir.
no geographical
Sir.
boundary.
Sir.
So maybe we have to open international chapters
Sir. Sir.
throughout the world.
Sir.
And through those chapters,
Sir.
we can organize seminars, conferences on the contemporary subjects.
Bas.
And that way,
Sir.
we may develop more collaborative studies.
Sir.
So
And
that
our
way definitely
presence-
our
Our presence will be more felt
felt.
globally,
Yeah.
globally, because
Yeah.
that will enhance India's image.
Yeah.
Now, ISCA has come to America, ISCA has come to Japan or Switzerland.
Another
So-
thing you have mentioned,
Sir.
that 2010 to 20
Sir.
is a decade
Decade
of
of
innovation.
innovation, sir.
And our latest science policies, science, technology,
Innovation
and
policy.
innovation.
Sir, sir.
So innovation should be there.
Innovation is center
Innovative-
stage, sir.
Ah.
Center stage, sir. Now, what is the future vision? What do you see beyond this collaboration, beyond projection of ISCA globally? What more do you think globally?
Globally, that is the
Sir.
ideal thing that
Sir.
we can because several problems we are
Sir.
facing.
Sir.
Suppose if you think about future India, this is global climate changes are there.
Sir.
So due to climate change, that is one problem, that how to tackle that climate change
Sir.
and rise of this global warming.
Sir.
We are going to get this emerging and re-emerging infectious diseases.
Sir.
Then lifestyle dependent non-communicable diseases. Then another thing is we have to feed a large number of people.
Sir.
So now we are producing 210 million tons of food, and we have to increase. There is a study that by 2030 our demand will be increased by 27 to 30%. So more than 300 million tons we have to make, and that also we have to achieve without disturbing our ecological system. So scientists are, and the shelter is there, another problem. Energy is there, we need a lot of energy. Day by day it's increasing, and we cannot use fossil fuel, we have to use some other
Renewable
renewable
Sir.
energy sources. So in those fields,
Sir.
our scientists are working,
Sir.
and definitely we will, the scientists will be able to rescue us from this type of obstacles. And Indian Science Congress Association, already I have told that we are, as you have mentioned, that Bhubaneswar chapter is not targeting children,
Sir.
but I understand that a few months back we had one program with the children. But that way, other chapters, they are trying their best to involve lot of children, school children, to attract them to take science as their career, so that our human resource will be much more than the others. And that part will, another advantage of our country is that our population is dominated by the, will be dominated by the youth,
Sure.
17 to 28 years old youth for the next 30 years. And one Nobel laureate, Krugman, who received Nobel Prize in Economics in 2008, last year he came to India and he said that if you think about that way, that we are China is declining, Japan has already declined because their youth is not controlling dominating their population. India has a great chance to do more in science.
बहुत बढ़िया कथा
But-
सारे कहले, बहुत बढ़िया कथा
more-
कहले.
more
India is
insight.
emerging as a young nation, whereas citizens of other countries are aging day by day.
Aging day by day.
Especially China and Japan, Asian countries. Now the dominance of America is not there. Sir, if you see 19th century or century of Europe, all inventions, discoveries were in Europe. 20th century was the century of America. Now 21st century is our century, century of Asia, century of India, or century of China. They call it China, India, Chindia, century of Chindia. So now entire century has come to us. So entire the youth power. You told India is 35% of the entire population is now youth. 35%. Hey, 65% of the entire population, they are belongs to 35 age group, below 35. So India is emerging as a young nation in a juncture where the entire world population is aging.
Yes.
So this is a positive advantage in favor of India. The Indian youth force is more in numbers and they are emerging as a young nation. This is a major advantage. Second thing is, you mentioned about Ganasray authority, knowledge economics, knowledge superpower. For the first time in the history of the world, knowledge is the fulcrum of development. Knowledge society. A society is based on knowledge. ज्ञानाश्रयी समाज व्यवस्था, ज्ञान को आश्रय करी गोटे समाज व्यवस्था गढ़ाई फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम. सोसाइटी इज बेस्ड ऑन नॉलेज सोसाइटी. इकोनॉमिक्स डिपेंड्स ऑन नॉलेज. ये भी पहले नहीं था सर. इकोनॉमिक्स ऑफ ए नेशन डिपेंड्स ऑन द नॉलेज बैंक ऑफ ए नेशन. So it is knowledge society and knowledge economics is emerging, and India is in a very good advantage, best advantage, and our population, entire population, 65% of the population, 35 age group. So this is major advantage. India is obviously marching ahead, but we have many pitfalls. We have many pitfalls to go, and we have many miles to go before we sleep, like Vivekananda told. So if I conclude, sir, thank you very much for your kind support, cooperation, and giving a vision to the youth of Odisha regarding the Indian Science Congress. It's a mission, it's a vision, and I hope like Indian Science Congress Association is rotating throughout India, annual conferences. So chapters also, all chapters in the country should also move from the headquarters to different parts of the state, respective states,
Yes, definitely.
and they should conduct conferences.
Definitely.
And even yesterday I told to Kajal Madam, next year's conference will not be in a kit. It will be some university, some institute outside Bhubaneswar, so that their people will get benefit of the ISCA. So similarly,
Even
sir,
it can be arranged in a school.
in a school, it can be arranged in a school, university, institute, depending on
In
the
a rural
area,
setup.
and it should move.
Yeah, it should.
Like in Odisha, we have 30 districts. So we can move from one district to another district like this over the years. So the things can move. Like ISCA is moving throughout the country.
Yeah.
So regional chapters, all 28 chapters should move.
also move.
So
Yes.
this requires a directive from your place. Number one. Number two, Children Science Congress we talked about. The respective chapters should do. Teacher Science Congress, chapters should do. Student Science Congress, Teacher Science Congress, and parents part I introduced. So that requires parents participation. How to link parents with the scientific system.
Especially women science.
Women science. And then women scientists are less in numbers
Yes.
in the country. So the Women Science Congress is essentially required. And all these regional chapters, they should do such activities based on your guidelines. If such a guideline comes from the center, then they can do it. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
very much.
Thank
And
you.
for the last time, I request Madam. दर्शक बंधु आज आम गहन अच्छा मिसेस चक्रवर्ती दर्शक बंधु आज आम गहन अच्छा मिसेस चक्रवर्ती मिसेस मनोज कुमार चक्रवर्ती मु मैडम को रिक्वेस्ट करी से कथा दीपद कहे आम दर्शक जानवे आज आम पाखे अच्छा प्रोफेसर मनोज कुमार चक्रवर्ती गठन सर्जन निर्माण मिसेस चक्रवर्ती हाथ कौन अच्छी कारण खाली मिसेस चक्रवर्ती मनोज चक्रवर्ती मो वाइफ नुहति से एक्जिक्यूटिव काउंसिल मेंबर अच्छा इस्कार और से जन प्रिंसिपाल गोटे कॉलेज प्रिंसिपाल अच्छा से विषय से दीपद कहे ये मैडम मोर गोटे कथा आसूची बिहाइंड एवरी सक्सेसफुल मैन देयर इज अ वुमन इफ यू गो टू द प्री हिस्ट्री पुराण एंड रामायण एंड अदर प्लेसेस इफ देयर वाज रामायण देयर वाज सीता इफ देयर वाज महाभारत इट वाज द्रौपदी इफ इट इज भारत इट इज शकुंतला दुश्मन Shakuntala is known as Bharat and country is named Bharat. So every successful man, for behind every successful man, there is a woman. And we consider as scientific community of the country, you are the force behind with, you are a force to reckon with for making up Professor Chakravorty. Kindly.
Namaskar. Actually, I have tried to do something for my husband because I am also a scientist, so it's duty for myself also to do something for the nation, for the women, for the children, for the school children. So whenever my husband needs me, I always help. I try to help him because he is self-sufficient. That I should say. But if he needs, I always try to help for doing the betterment of the of India, of the nation, because it's also my duty as a woman behind my husband, as a scientist from the nation, and as an educationist, as a principal of a college, I have to do for the nation. So that for that reason I always try to help or do something for my husband. I think this is my duty to do something.
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much. We compliment you, we congratulate you, we respect you, honor you that you have come to the land of Kalinga, land of Utkal, land of Odisha, land of Udra. The old name is Udra. And we have very good linkages with our neighboring states, especially West Bengal. And I am a product of West Bengal also, PhD from Calcutta University. And we thank you very much, madam. We are God grateful to you.
And thank you for giving me the opportunity to say something.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you very much.